going from one extreme to the other. We just talked about the most disappointing teams in the league this year. Well, let's kind of flip the script on that and now talk about the top of the top, the peak. Through week 5, and granted, there's a Monday night game tonight where this could change, but as of right now, there's only 2 undefeated teams in the NFL left. The Minnesota Vikings and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's it. Now, that could change by the end of the night. Kansas got a tough game coming up tonight. They're playing like an hour and a half or something like that.
Close, yep.
So maybe by the time you watch this video, they won't be undefeated anymore, but we'll see. So I had one of our viewers write to me because, we do our movie show. And for those of you who are just coming across the sports show, we also do a movie show called The John Campea Show. Go and find that YouTube channel. But one of my viewers on that, in talking about knowing that we had our first Filthy Sports coming up today, wrote in and asked me an interesting question. They said, who's the best undefeated team left? And there's only 2, Minnesota and Kansas City. So take a look at this. So here's the Minnesota Viking record right now. So they beat the New York Giants. They beat the 49ers. I mean, beating the Giants, you don't win any prizes for that. Yeah, they beat the 49ers, which at that time was considered a really good win. They beat the Houston Texans, who are legit, good, and yeah. they spanked them. I mean, they spanked them good. Then they had a nice win over the Packers, and they, of course, just beat Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. And they have a couple of very, very convincing wins on here, but here's the key thing. Even when you look at that 31-29 score with the Packers, they look like they were dominating the game to me, right? They're out there. They're swinging the ball around. I don't know where the hell this version of Sam Darnold came from,
yeah.
Because there are some other teams, including the Jets, wondering where the hell was this guy? But he looks good. Of course, he's got, Jeff out
Jefferson,
there.
Yeah.
I mean, so that helps a lot. You also got a brilliant offensive coordinator. Things are looking good in there. But they just look. Here's the thing. And I'm spoiler alert. I'm saying Minnesota's the best undefeated team right now. And here's why. Because when they're out on the field right now, when I'm watching their games, it always looks like the other team, so far, every game I've watched, it looks like the other team is trying to survive. It looks like the other team is trying, their body language is always that. It always looks like this is Minnesota's game and you're there to participate. And that's just kind of what, even in their closer games, It feels like that. Now, on the flip side of that, you look over at the Kansas City Chiefs. All right. A win against Baltimore, which is a good win, right? But close, very close. The Cincinnati Bengals game, some people say maybe some officiating and that game goes the other way.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so too.
Then the Atlanta Falcons is actually not a bad win, but again, very close within 5. And the Chargers, which they only got by with 7 points. But here's, again, it's more the eye test for me. Like the scores are the scores. A win's a win. You are what your record says you are, as the saying goes. But when I watch the Vikings, again, I see that's the boss, right? That's the final boss. That's the big man in the neighborhood. When I watch the Chiefs, they just do not feel dominant to me. And listen, nobody wants to say it out loud. Patrick Mahomes has not looked Patrick Mahomes-ish this year yet. Kelsey is not firing on all cylinders. And you could make an argument that, hey, when they need Kelsey to step up, he does it. There's an argument to be made. He's getting older. His brother just retired. He's getting older. Maybe he's trying to conserve himself a bit. All that is legit and true. But it's just for me, Ryan, when I look again at Minnesota, I see a dominant team. When I see Kansas, I see a team that's squeaking out some good wins, but not down. Now, I say that. I felt the same way about the Chiefs last year in the first half of the season. Like they just never convinced me that they looked dominant or that they could steamroll anybody, but they just started to pick up steam. So I'm not saying take Kansas City Chiefs off your Super Bowl pick. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying right now, if I had to pick who's the best team in the league right now, I'm going to say the Vikings. I don't know. How do you see it?
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm
Really?
going to say the Chiefs. Well, first of all, I will say yes. I think Kelsey's getting up there in age. He also, in playoffs, he's putting up such crazy numbers or using him so much. I think that's probably catching up to him. I do know the Chiefs, they basically had to get Kareem Hunt to be the running back because they don't have any running backs.
Right.
So they needed that. Hollywood Brown got hurt. So the receiver course, and Rice is out too. So that's kind of
Yeah, and we're going to have to see how long he's going to be out for.
But I mean, if they had all those guys and you told me the Vikings are playing the Chiefs, I'm picking the Chiefs to win because they know how to pull out close games. They have the experience. Darnold is putting up great numbers. He's playing well, but it's still Darnold. So we have to see what happens.
I feel like you should make a T-shirt that says that.
But
It's
I'm
still Darnold.
not going to put it down because he is putting up good numbers and he's getting wins. So I don't want to talk trash, but it's Patrick Mahomes has won multiple Super Bowls and MVPs versus
Yeah, and
Darnold.
probably will win more.
But yeah, they're both good. I just would probably pick the Chiefs just because they know how to win. And as the season progresses, those guys are going to come back or they'll get people to fill in those spots. And I think they'll take care of business.
I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot to. Look, when the Chiefs lost Tyreek, right? A lot of people said, oh, well, now they're just going to be a really good team, but not an elite team. They were continued to be an elite team and won rings, right? But how big of a deal is it that Rice is out? Because he's kind of become a very big centerpiece of that offense. How important is it, do you think, to the Chiefs that he comes back sooner rather than later?
Well, basically all through last year's playoffs, he was the main receiver. So, and Kelsey obviously did his thing, but yeah, they need someone to pick up because Kelsey can't do everything and they don't really have a running game. So they need someone else to take off the pressure. So I think Hollywood Brown's out for the season and Rice, they thought he might be done for the season, but now they're saying he might come back. So they need someone to pick up the slack if he's not going to come back. So I don't think they have anything to pick up Devontae Adams, but that would be a good team for him to go to if they need a receiver.
Oh,
but
Devontae would go to Kansas
I don't know
City.
if they have anything to, and also I don't know if he's like the player that they would want, but he would fill in a gap. They don't have a main receiver. He's super good.
You know what? We've already spent too much time on this topic, but you just brought up the Devontae thing because
Taco Bell's
obviously, you want to go Taco Bell's?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Jets is a place he's looking at because he loves playing with Aaron. So
Ron.
Then a lot of people are saying Dallas, but I don't know how much they have left to mortgage, and I don't think it'd make a big difference. Kansas would be interesting. And I think one of the reasons Kansas would be interesting is because, number one, you can say to Devontae, listen, true legit. Like, you can go to the Jets. You ain't winning nothing.
Yeah,
you can go to Dallas. Sorry, Cowboy fans. You ain't winning nothing. You go to the Chiefs. There's a very good chance you get a ring. I mean, there's a very good chance. And you know what? For Kansas, they might think, listen, we've got a couple of rings. We think we can rebuild, but we want to win right now too. So they might be willing to part with some stuff for them.
I mean, they're on the same division as the Raiders, so I don't know if the Raiders would poo-poo on that because of it.
The Raiders would pull the
but the
trigger
Raiders
on that.
also stink and need picks and stuff, so it just depends. I mean, they probably want to trade them out of their division, but
no, you know what? You
so.
just put the whole kibosh on that whole theory because you're right. There's no way they're giving him to the Chiefs. Anyway, guys, question is for you. As of this recording, there are 2 undefeated teams in the NFL, Minnesota and Kansas City. Who do you think is the more dominant team right now? Jump on down to the comments and let us know what you guys think.